Hello and welcome back to another week at DroneDJ. Sorry we missed you all last week. We are back with more updates, especially Kirk really wanted to talk about the AI generated drone videos this week. Let's put them up and see
Yeah,
what they got.
so if you
Oh,
don't
that's a very
know,
classic. This is a very classic one.
it is so classic. So OpenAI, who you might know from
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT, or is it I can't remember DALI 3, I think that's what it's called, their image creator, which I've never tried out, but I've heard it's pretty good. Actually, one of our sister sites, Electric, used DALI 3 a few times for their featured images, so it's actually pretty good. They came out with Sora this week. They announced it, which is a AI video creator, and I saw it through. I saw MKBHD's video on it, and he started off the video with. Do you remember last year where they came out with the AI generated video of Will Smith eating spaghetti? At
Yeah,
all?
I do.
Yeah, that was 1 year ago, and it's like that is an absolutely terrible video. And now 1 year later, we have this. Which, if I didn't tell you this was, if we didn't start the show off was saying that we're going to talk about AI video. If you looked at this and told you it was this was AI video, would you believe me?
I mean, I wouldn't. I can't tell. I'm sure some of my post guys may, but I can't tell, especially if you're looking at it from a phone or a smaller screen.
Yeah, this one I look at this one. This one's definitely one of the I think the best. There's one more I think is a really good example as well. The other ones there's something weird about it, but this one's just straight up in orbit around Big Sur. And even there was even a video on MKBHD's
But I
video where he
wonder
even
how much of this is this entirely AI generated or is this based on existing footage?
well
Because
it,
this
it
is a really popular. I mean, I'm sure I've seen this video or videos like this multiple times.
yeah well it's AI generated, like all their stuff is AI generated. Um, it's yeah, but it is based off of like the shot. And the reason why probably this shot probably looks so good is because it's such a classic drone shot. There's probably millions of examples they can pull from to make it good. Like when I look at it, you can kind of see some issues. Like if you look at the trees in the background, like it doesn't look like they look a little flat. They don't look
Mhm.
like trees. But if you're just looking at the cliff, you're looking at the waves, you're looking at the lighthouse, solid. So the reason why I want to discuss this was because before Wednesday, I think Wednesday, at least it's Wednesday. If you wanted this shot, you had to hire a drone photographer. You had to hire a drone pilot. You had to pay someone. What I think here in the States, it's around $100 an hour. I think is the normal wage for a drone pilot, depending on what gear you have and how good you are. This will probably cost you like what? I mean, $20 a month,
Which is less than stock footage.
which is way less than stock footage. Yeah,
Because
like
the options are you should it yourself, or if this is a common landmark location, just general landscape, you can get from stock footage,
yeah.
right?
This
So that
is
would be less than
$20 a
stock
month,
footage.
no copyright issues.
Hmm.
You just pull it in, and you have to really look for issues, especially if you're only talking about like maybe like a 5-second clip or a 2-second clip. No one's gonna know. So there's a few other options here I want to show. There's this one as well, um, which is supposed to be like an old timey gold rush town. So, which I think this is, I don't know. You could
Oh,
probably,
oh,
I mean,
West.
a really good post production person could probably edit this and make it look like this. I don't know most about post production, but I would never be able to create something like this ever in my life. I mean, the you have to build that set, hire all those actors, like nothing that doesn't exist now. Like you have to build all that. More, boom. This is like $20 a month done right here. Which is it's just again, if you look at it, you just don't know exactly like the only way to know a lot of these videos is because there's a watermark here in the bottom right corner.
Hmm.
Um, that's like the OpenAI logo, so you know it's AI. But like, man, if you're looking anywhere else, you don't know.
What about some of the bad ones? Oh, this when I
This
saw
one,
this one, I was saying it did look more like the first
yeah,
thought came to my mind was, is it from Far Cry? I thought there was a
yeah.
video game sequence from Far Cry.
So there are like you can definitely look through them. There are some like limitations that you can tell. Like this one is supposed to be the prompt is the camera follows behind a white vintage SUV with a black rack as it speeds up a steep dirt road surrounded by pine trees on a steep mountain slope. Dust kicks up from hold on, there's more. Okay, that's a paragraph. Never mind. Anyways, we get the prompt. It's a car going up. It's a little bit too steady. It definitely looks like I saw it and I just went, oh, that's Forza. That's Forza Horizons right there. It definitely looks like a video game. I think I saw one bit where the wheel was like outward, like turning to the left, but the car was going straight. So it's not. There's not perfect. Not every scenario is perfect. Perfect. You can definitely tell this one is something's not right about it. But this one you can also kind of tell.
Mm-hmm.
So this one's straight up. The prompt says straight up. A drone camera circles around beautiful historic church built on a rocky outcropping along the Amalfi coast.
That looks like
So
from Game of Thrones.
it does actually. So this one, first off, if I wanted to know, like, it looks. I mean, there's nothing in it that like right now. This shot right here,
Mm-hmm.
that's perfect. That's perfect. I mean, you can tell like there's a weird angle change, which you would never like. This we start up going this to the left, and all of a sudden then you kind of like change to the right.
Right.
You would never really do that in a drone shot. I mean, like unless you're literally changing your mind. You want
Right,
to move
but you
the
wouldn't
position.
like. Let me put it this way: you wouldn't use that as a final sequence. You would cut it, right?
Yeah, you would cut before that, anyways. So like, but if you're just looking, if you just take this like that would be something like, oh, that doesn't seem right. Like I would never send that to a
Are
client.
they right? Are they trying to make it genuine by the drone starts off and then readjust and then take
Maybe,
that?
yeah, that's an interesting take. Like maybe they purposely made it go a different direction because they wanted it to look like a drone pilot flew it and moved it to position and start the circle. I don't know. Where's my cursor here? But yeah, like you can tell there's some things about that, like, oh, there's something about this like doesn't seem right. But for like, that's for us drone pilots. Like we know that.
Mm-hmm.
The general public's not going to know that ever. Here's one that you shared.
Yeah, I really liked this one, and in reality, I don't think they can even put cable cam. Looking at
No, I
what
can't
I
even
see
think
on
of
the
a
left.
camera way. You would have to use like especially at this point right here. That's
Mm-hmm.
way too close to a branch for a drone to go through. Maybe,
Unless you use Avata.
yeah, I was like you could use a Vada or because the Inspire 3 like hangs down so low, like the camera's so low, you could maybe get away with it.
And it would blow all the
But that would
snow.
blow everything around.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this is either like I won't even know like in a real production world like what camera set you would use for this other than
I can only
Avata.
think of cable cam, but based on, I mean, just looking at the video, right? Either you have to use cable cam and remove anything that happened to get in the shot.
Yeah. Or like I think the other thing I think was like a really tall steady cam that you can like somehow like bring down, or like a really like just like a comically large like a boom arm like it
No, for the weight, I don't think you can put that on a boom arm.
yeah, it would just be like it would be too long unless you can move it on a track. Like, but again, like
This is one of the interesting shots.
It's mind boggles because you look at it, you're like, there's some weird stepping motions on people. Like you can see like that person right here. Like watch this person where my cursor is at the start.
Yep.
Like you can there's some weird steps. Like I mean, maybe you could think she tripped on some snow, but it's something's not right about her walking.
You know what I would also like to see?
Oh yeah, this is one where it completely messes up.
What that didn't work.
Yeah. But wait, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I would like to see these sequences not being generated as a standalone, AI video. I like to see how this is being used, either in let's say a vlog, someone's vlogging, or like a small story someone's putting together. Because at standalone sequences, they don't really mean much. They have to be useful, right? They have to be part of something.
Well, yeah, and this is like part of their research. They released this. It's still not even public. They only have it out to like they call it red teamers. So they're just before they send out the beta testers, I believe, is what that's what they use. So it's more of like a research, like here's what we're doing, like crazy. There's a whole like white paper you can read about this too, and all that stuff. But there's one more shot. This is what it's not perfect. Sometimes it's some guy runs on the treadmill backwards, which is funny. This one, This is the one I want to talk about. This is the aerial view of Santorini during Blue Hour, showcasing the stunning architecture of the celiac buildings with blue domes. If I told you, okay, so if you wanted this shot and it wasn't stock footage, you have to go hire a drone pilot to go do this shot.
Right.
However, and for whatever reason. However, if I told you before you saw this photo or this video, if I told you what did the Santorini city look like, would you even be able to tell me what it looked like?
No.
But here we go. You don't need to go get a drone pilot,
Right.
unless it's like for like educational like purposes. Like this is you're telling them this is it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you're telling them that's fact. But if you just want something based there, and you just want something to look like it,
Mm-hmm.
this will do you just fine for like a 3-second, cut.
Yeah, definitely. I can see it because I mean, even with the recent strike from Hollywood, from the union, right? There was actor strike, it was writer strike. We had so many different strikes for the past 12 months period. So there was always people arguing to say, is AI replacing the job of Hollywood? I mean, looking at this, I don't think it will. I mean, it will make it more efficient in certain departments, but if you're talking about the Western town, you can't just have one sequence of recreating, that model. Like it has to fit into the story, it has to fit into other buildings and characters and costumes, art department, everything that's set to the story. So you can't use an AI generated video to replace that. But to your point, educational, I'm even thinking corporate videos, right? Some marketing, like actually commercials,
small budget stuff.
Prints. Yeah, like actually commercials and prints are a big part of production. People don't just work in TV shows or feature films, just TV ads and even online distribution for the larger brands. Commercials is actually a big part. And to your point, commercials will only use, even when we go out for a large commercial project, it would still be just maybe a few seconds of drone shots, because your overall commercial is what, 30-second, 60-second spot. So if you're just inserting a few seconds here and there, can they do a portion? Can they replace a portion?
They get away with it,
yeah.
Unless you need like something super specific. But even then, like we saw, like there were some pretty super specific prompts. I mean, prompt engineering is like almost now a full-time job. Like you can almost have a full-time job doing AI prompt engineering. And this is even going to make it bigger.
And you just at the beginning, this is a year later.
This is 1 year. This is the worst. This is what MKBHD said this in his video. This is the worst the technology ever is going to be. Right here. This is the worst. Which is
because as we know, there's always a jump, right? Like a steep, steep curve up, and then at some point it's got to stabilize and it's got to hit a point where it's very difficult to get past that point. So which point are we on the curve? So to be discovered.
I'm gonna look up the Wheel Spaghetti AI video so I can show we can show people what it was a year ago.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right, here we go.
Right there.
Yeah, there it is. This was 1 year ago.
Yeah.
Which is kind of insane. Also, I love you can see the Shutterstock watermarks in like half the photos. I wonder if that ever concerned AI copyright people. But I will make a point that like going back to this one, Hollywood, it probably won't replace Hollywood because Hollywood has like they don't want stock footage. They want their 8K Apple ProRes RAW, whatever, or Red RAW like footage. They want to do their own editing. They want to do their own color correction to make sure it matches all the other stuff. So like Hollywood, like probably it'll be a while until we can get. Just imagine like in like 5 years they start giving you like Red RAW or Apple ProRes RAW like footage out of this. That would be insane. But storyboarding for like a movie, like, hey, we want to have like something like this. This is the shot we're looking for, and we just got to find something that looks similar to this. And this is the shot we're looking for. Or small budget stuff. YouTubers, looking for just to kind of spice up a travel. Like I don't know. That's where stuff gets maybe a little ethical. Where like if you're a travel vlogger and you want a cool drone shot of your city that you're in, and you just
Is
kind of
it
throw in
is
an
it
AI
real?
generated shot.
Did you shoot it, or is it from AI or from stock, right?
Yeah, which is why I think it's very important that they have that watermark in the bottom right corner to know that, you know, this is good. This is AI generated. It's not real.
Yeah, but
But
let's
then
face
again,
it, how many vloggers actually follow the rules?
yeah. The what I guess plus I could say, like, there's a lot of like kind of like storytelling channels that like they don't need, like they're not going to get footage of like, you know, in the 1900s or like the 1800s, stuff like that. So they can just AI generate image, and as long as they just say like credit OpenAI, or like no one's really going to matter. Like they don't care. Like, they're not there for the footage. They're there for the story. Just like YouTubers or commercials will make a lot of sense because, man, like I'm sure the margins on those commercials are just, I mean, there's no, the lower you can, the less you can spend on your commercial with keeping the same production value, like that's just more money in the company's pocket for marketing, right? So if they can save, you know, a couple $1,000s on a drone pilot just for, you know 5 seconds of drone footage they're going to use, like, I mean, I can see plenty of companies saying, or plenty of production companies, I don't know about production companies, but at least the companies paying for the commercial would probably be very much okay with this.
The challenge with commercial is also there's client, there's the advertising agency, and then there's your production company, and then post-production company. It will take time for clients to build.
Not all of them are going to be on the same page. Like, I'm sure whoever's paying for it would be so gung ho on it. Oh yeah, we get to save, like, you know, money on a drone pilot. Yeah, let's do it. Versus then,
but then you take it
the
to
production company, like, wait, no, we don't want to work with AI video
there's
just
also,
yet.
there's
Like, we're
also
not ready for
creative directors and everybody else on the team, and they may not
Yeah.
be happy with AI generated, right? They want to have their touch. The creative people, they want to have their touch.
Yeah, but I'll be honest.
You know what? Along that note, I did want to bring up this story of FAA filing close to $200,000 of lawsuit against a YouTube blogger.
Yeah,
right there from Philadelphia. So to your point, when I was reading this story, I was thinking, well, there's a lot of risk if you vlog and you don't follow all the rules. In this case, he operated at night without a waiver. He operated in weather conditions when he's not supposed to fly. He flew into controlled airspace without proper waiver or permission. That's a lot of risk to take if you're just taking some videos, and in his case are, you know, quirky videos to begin with, not really like a full-on story or high production value. So if you can use AI generated videos to replace that, then at least you don't have to face a $200,000 fine, right?
Yeah, and there's also like all the things of like you know, trouble of you know, copyright and like whatnot. I mean, you can't copy. I'll have to double check, but I'm pretty sure you can't copyright AI generated material because it's not technically original. So yeah, if you ever want to deal with, you know, not have to deal with copyright stuff, you just deal with a drone video generator now. Like,
so it will save your expenses if you're thinking about flying without permission.
Yeah, definitely will. Like, it definitely, like, it opens up a lot of opportunities for people to get stuff that you can't legally even get, like a drone shot of the White House. You can't get that. Like, that's impossible. Like, you could probably get something decent out of this.
But also, you know what? On the other hand, it would also be a lot of people who do this they're doing it for the purpose of doing it, right?
Yeah.
Like, your logic with them.
There is a thrill factor of breaking the law, which is not right. Don't do that. But it's just, there are people out there who want.
Well, if you really want to go play GTA, right?
If you really, yeah. Like, oh man, imagine in GTA 6 they have a drone. You can fly drones. Okay, never mind. That would be a dream for all drone pilots. You can fly your own drone in airspace in a video game. You don't have to do it in real life. That'd be great. That'd be funny. Yeah, like there's always going to be people who want to fly their drone in areas that they're not supposed to fly. So, but now there's even less of a reason to even get away with it. Like, there's not, like, why did you do this? Oh, why couldn't you just use OpenAI to generate your own video of it? Why did you have to fly it? Like, hopefully that means like the fines and the penalties still get bigger and not less people do it. But because every time someone does something like this, it kind of ruins it for everyone else. So
for sure.
Yeah.
On that note, the bill to ban DJI has cleared a Congress committee hearing. So when I looked a little more into details, this is a representative from New York, right? And this bill specifically could prohibit DJI from using FCC.
Yep. The FCC communications, so they wouldn't be able to even. It would pretty much ban anyone, consumers or anything else to use it.
Because all the previous bans we were talking about, they're really more for defense, for federal, for military. It didn't really affect, state, like individual state or municipality or the civil commercial users. But this bill specifically is really going to affect everyone.
Yeah, like this is straight up. DJI will no longer be able to pretty much. Well, I don't. There might be like a grandfather clause depending on when you buy it, but for the most part, yeah, like DJI like will not.
Because we just saw 2 DJI drones with FCC filing, right?
Yep.
From pretty much last year, what they released last year in China with the Dog 2 is the 3D and 3TD. So both of them had FCC filing. So if you already have drones on like cleared FCC filing in the past, would this bill affect those? We also don't know.
Don't know at all. But also, you got to remember this is also a. I think I didn't read the details on it, but it said it got through a committee.
It just cleared a committee hearing.
It cleared a committee hearing. It doesn't necessarily mean there's a bill in place to be discussed on. So the weird thing about United States law is that you have committees that propose bills, and then bills go to the House floor, and then the House floor has to pass it. Then it has to go to the Senate. The Senate has to pass it, and then it has to go to the President. The President has to sign it. So there's like a lot of steps in the way, and this is a very far right individual who is proposing this. So it would be pretty difficult. Although there's a very we're pretty much in the point of the new Red Scare of China, like we were with the Soviet Union. So it could help it. That could help it, but there's a lot more steps in the way to get this passed.
What I'm looking for is there's nothing wrong with saying there's a threat and we want to stop the threat, but what is the alternative solution? This person, if this ever comes through, we're talking about stopping, hundreds of thousands of day-to-day commercial users who are using this to earn their bread and butter pretty much, right? So if you take this away from them, what solution are you giving them?
Yeah, it would harm the agricultural community greatly because they use a lot of DJI drones there as well. I don't know how. I know DJI. I know like agricultural spraying drones are still rising, growing here in the United States. But multispectral use of the drones are heavy. Also, the big question that we still have to ask for everyone is where's the proof? A lot of these are just accusations and nothing that shows it actually happening. Right. So. Maybe that's all hidden behind closed door sessions, but if you're going to be pretty much dismantling an entire industry worth of jobs, I feel like you kind of have to, bring that public.
Also saving people's lives. Last week, I was speaking to a client, and it's a local law enforcement agency. They went out on a regular basis using their M3T or Matrix 30T to look for missing person. There were a lot of elderlies, especially in the winter with mental issues that went missing. On a weekly basis, they're going out with DJI drones actually finding them. Like not just looking, but actually finding them.
DJI and Autel, which are both Chinese. So and DJI is always the first one, and then they start bringing Autel. So
again, to me, you want to ban, that's fine. But what solutions, what alternatives are you bringing? Like, are you willing to live with the consequences that people will, lose their earnings, and some people may lose their lives because of the ban? And those are the questions, right?
And there's no AI generated search drone footage you can use. I won't help you here.
And many agencies are not so public about it. Like they don't come out to say how many people we're actually saving on a regular basis, right? This is not like a public service announcement.
Yeah. Maybe that's where we fit in. Maybe we need to start doing more, talking to more agencies and getting more numbers out there.
Well, and also because of bans like this, because of policies like this, a lot of agencies are pretty quiet about it. They also don't want to come out and raise concerns by saying, "Hey, we're using all DJI drones."
It's weird, because you could come out and say like, "Hey, a great news. We last year we saved 100 and some people."
But they don't want to come out and
with our DJI M30, and all those people go like, "Wait, you're using DJIs? Like we didn't know I didn't know our police department had a drone unit." Like, it's you could go either way with that, I guess. Maybe it's
we will keep an eye on us as the story develops and bring everyone updates. So that's everything we have now. It's been a really quiet February, and we've been wanting to see any new potential Avata, any potential new drones from DJI. But I guess with everything else happening, it's not really on the top of their priorities list to make the announcement, to say the least, right?
Yeah. So, whole lot going on.
Well, it is also Chinese New Year, or politically, the Lunar New Year for China since last Saturday. So and no one's really working until this Sunday because there's trips for holidays and everything. So they get a whole week off. We shall see once everybody is back to work and what news comes out from this year's new drones.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
See you next week.